Cricbuzz Chatter at the end of day one of what promises to be a marquee series, England versus India. Dinesh Karthik alongside me, and I'm very, very disappointed seeing Dinesh Karthik today because on his influence, I started to wear bright shirts and he's wearing a jacket.
And that is the same disappointment I harbor right now. Because for your YouTube channel, such fancy shirts you wear here, you're wearing a dull, not dull, navy
Right.
blue.
Navy blue, because finally this is test match and all. We'll go through the entire day on Cricbuzz Chatter powered by Cricbuzz 11. Let's start with the toss actually, because there was a lot of talk about what do you do when you win the toss. In the last 6 test matches have all been won by the team that bowled first, chased and won in the fourth innings. Average totals batting first were 205, 220 thereabouts. We just kept going up innings after innings. So everybody thought win the toss and field. Except that on our pre-show, our very own Cricbuzz Chatter colleague Michael Vaughan said no. He said on this pitch you bat first. Were you surprised by the decision? Because India's captain said he would have bowled first too.
First up, I want to say I'm not at all surprised because from England's point of view, from the time the Paz Stokes era started, they like chasing. They like to go hard and they want to put pressure on the fourth innings. That's how they've played. So it completely suits their ideology. What would have surprised me is India, if they wanted to bowl first because of the way they lined up, is it because they chose to bowl first because of whatever is available in day one, or the pressure of what an England could do if they bowl first? So that is the decision. But the good thing is, like Ravi Shastri said, I feel it was a good toss for India to lose because that meant they had to come out and bat, which they did.
Interesting you say that because it's a line that's very often used in the cricket world, a good toss to lose. And I very often wondered, I said, why? Does that mean your decision making is not very precise? But today was genuinely a good toss to lose because India would have, who knows? I mean, India might have bowled better. This England bowling looked very ordinary and limited, but who knows what might have happened. The team itself, Sai Sudarshan at 3, Karun Nair at 6, the 3 fast bowlers, was that the team you would have picked?
Yes, I was very confident.
So we agree.
Oh, yes, I think for once we agree. That's how you should say it. A solid team, I felt, because they've covered all bases and they've gone with the bowling all-rounder. I was thinking whether they'll drop Sai Sudarshan and probably bring in a Nitish Reddy, but they haven't done that. And I really like the way they've thought about it because there's depth in batting, but there's also enough bowling resources.
So there's always that little tingle of excitement when a series starts. I still remember India versus Australia. We didn't know what was going to happen. And next thing you know, 2 outswingers, India 2 down. Yashasvi is feeling his way. He's nicked one. I thought India's opening partnership was outstanding. And when you look back, we're going to talk about Yashasvi, we're going to talk about Shubman Gill. But when you look at that scorecard, there's one name that you'll say, yeah, okay. How well did KL Rahul play and how important was that 90-run opening partnership? And I'm asking a former India opener in English conditions.
At times, he is not celebrated as much as he should be because he's very versatile. He goes out there and does what is required for the team. Yet again today, he had a good game plan. Look, walking into the series, he had done well in the India A game. He had done well in the intra-squad game. So the murmur going around in the team was he's batting nicely, he's shaping up nicely. And you could see soon after IPL finished, he went out there, and I know he's had a couple of sessions, and what he is planned to work on, his kind of game plan for the series, and it was nice to see all of that coming to fruition today. But I really was so upset when he got out because a big one for the taking, Harsha.
5 cover drives before that, each outstanding, each beautiful in good position. Really, I was thinking he's going to get 100.
And we made a small piece on Sky about how the bat face was open when he hit a similar shot, which just flew over point.
Yes,
and then this one, that slight little doubt saying, okay, 5 minutes to lunch, let me just be clever about it and look to tap it and take a single, gone. That doubt is what at times will cost your wicket, and sadly for him, it did today.
And then we saw the tragedy. Tragedy is too strong a word to use in sport. But Sai Sudarshan comes in. I was excited about watching Sai Sudarshan play, how long he's waited. Everyone dreams of playing for India. And then you come in and you get strangled down the leg side. Can you imagine strangle? I mean, the trap was laid there. But, I mean, how often? You ask any Indian batter, which is the one ball you want to face? And they'll say, give me one on my pad for a single behind. And it happens. It happens. But what it did was it set the stage for two people who are going to be the future of Indian cricket. And I was mighty impressed with Yashasvi Jaiswal in the manner in which he left in the first half hour, the manner in which he left the ball.
Look, from the time he started his career, I think there's been constant questions because he started as someone who's done very well in white ball cricket. And then they said, okay, West Indies first tour, good. Let's see what he does in India. He came to India on turning pitches, scored runs. Then Australia, that was a big test. Oh, what is he going to do when he goes there? Gets 100 in Perth.
Big 100 that.
Big 100, 180. Now, obviously, walking into England as an opener, as we all know, is very challenging. And it was great to see him apply himself. And like you said, for a man who's there for the first time, made it look very comfortable. Yes, I do think there is an area that England will look to operate consistently, which could be around his hip. We'll get into that. But today is about celebrating a man who, again, fought his, I won't say demons, but fought a lot of doubts that could have been there in the lead up to this test series. He's played a whole IPL knowing he's coming to England. He's played 2 games after coming here, the India game and the intra-squad game. He got out funnily in 1 game, but another one he was given LBW. Put all that into context because all of that weighs on your mind, Harsha. As you go into walk on a day when you've lost a toss, Headingley could be a pitch that has a lot in it for the first session. All this plays in your mind. He went out there and did very nicely today. And the way he went about his celebration says it meant a lot to him. He wanted it so badly. And it was very nice to see him express himself. At the same time, dig hard and make sure that he was there for Team India for as long as possible. Had a nasty bout of cramps. And you could see in the replays, his fingers just going. And I'm amazed. We say North England is always very cold, but people are getting cramps this time.
Because it's hot. I mean, today is a day where you wanted to take out your jacket, not pull on another sweater. Normally, when you come to Leeds, you pull on a sweater. Here, it was actually hot enough for you to want to take it off. But there were 2 aspects to Jaiswal's innings. I thought the first England bowled very badly in that they bowled full a lot. The strike rate when they were bowling full for India was 120. When they were bowling on a length, it was 20-25. But they bowled almost 1/3 of their balls full. So the first part of Jaiswal's innings was characterized by his driving, but you knew that every left-hander, you knew that he was waiting to play the cut shot. The second half of his innings was the cut shot. Which did you like more?
The cuts. The way he lines
up. I thought you'd say drive.
The drive is why I appreciate the cut more is because he hits good balls of cut. The drive was where they fed him. It was right there. With his technique, obviously, cut comes very naturally. As you can see, 59 square of the wicket on the offside. But that 19 is an important number, Harsha. Because as an opener, you want to just punch those balls that is full to you. And he did that quite nicely. But Josh Tongue bowled quite a few out there for him to try. All he needed to do was bat to bat. If I'd made you wear pads, also probably would have connected 1 or 2 straight down the ground, Harsha. Do you think
there are levels of sledging and there are other levels of sledging?
But
how easy was it? Even you might have put that to one. In our ancient Indian culture system, you show some respect for age. That is long gone with.
But I'm very respectful of your leg spin.
Tell you the things we do on Cricbuzz Chatter. But 101. I thought the key issue with that 101 was what happened immediately after lunch. Suddenly you're going into lunch and the flavor of lunch wasn't great because till 10 minutes before lunch it had been India's session. Then you lose 2 wickets and then you go through the session unbeaten. And there comes Shubman Gill. Big debate on whether he should be batting at 4 or whether he should be batting at 3. He chose to bat at 4. His first 25 runs came at run a ball. He just looked so fluent. He looked like, okay, where do I want to hit the next one? Overall strike rate of 72 is excellent. 16 fours, that 6 I don't think was meant to be, but it happened. But the control that he showed was incredible. And guess what? I have a feeling, and you know him much better, that Shubman Gill wants to walk in the footsteps of Virat Kohli. What Virat Kohli does, Shubman Gill wants to do, including the bat contract. I want that bat. Why did Virat Kohli want that bat? Because Sachin Tendulkar had that bat. Now Tendulkar retires. First innings that India play after Tendulkar retires, Kohli is the new number 4, he gets 100. Kohli retires, the first innings after that is played by Shubman Gill at number 4, he gets 100. There's a nice handing over the baton at number 4, isn't there? But it's very beautiful today.
It's a relay race that India will be proud of because the legacy seems to continue. That lineage, as they say, has just gone from strength to strength for India. It used to be Sunil Gavaskar who was an opener, but at number 4, there was Sachin Tendulkar. And I think he said this time, G.R. Vishwanath. Sachin Tendulkar, then he passed the baton on to obviously Virat Kohli, and Virat Kohli has now moved on from Test cricket. But it's great to see Shubman Gill choosing to bat at 4, coming out there and making it count. What today was A, accepting responsibility,
Yes.
B, application of a man under pressure. The pitch didn't have too many demons. That's the truth. It was probably a nice and a good paced pitch for batters to bat on. But what we saw today was a man who was hungry for success, who wants to lay down a marker saying, I am the captain and I will get things done when things are hard for you. And that tells me he's determined. That's very important for a captain, Harsha.
One of the things we talk about with captaincy is, will it burden you as a player? Or will it just make you a better player? Will you rise up and get buoyed up by captaincy? I liked very much what I saw, but I want to ask you, you had a conversation with him. It helps to be Dinesh Karthik, by the way. If Harsha Bhogle asks Shubman Gill, he'll say, yes, sir, definite next time. If Dinesh Karthik says, he'll say, okay, now. So it helps if you're Dinesh Karthik, so you get to converse with Shubman Gill. But what was the feeling you got when you were chatting with him when he said, yes, I know I'm captain, but I also want to be the leading run scorer?
That second part of the line really impressed me. That's a man who knows his batting is most important to liberate him of his mind and the doubts he'll have, but most importantly, also gain the respect of the dressing room.
Yes.
That is very important. Why was Kohli so respected? Because under pressure, it was Kohli. Under immense or tough conditions, it was Kohli. So Shubman Gill, as you said, wants to walk that path, probably try and do it even better. And the journey has started today. But that interview was all about him laying a marker down, saying, yes, Dinesh Bhai, I want to do well as a captain, but let me start by saying I want to be the best batter in this series. Now, for me, that tells a young man who has a good head on his shoulders, realizes, yes, the responsibility is great, but it starts with my batting, and then the rest will follow through.
I mean, he's an average 35 batter. But one very interesting stat I saw, in all the test matches that Shubman Gill has played, the average of the top 7 is 32. And he's averaged 35. So, I mean, you want him to be a 40 plus, 45 plus batter, but that just sort of puts things in perspective. I thought they were actually forced to bowl short at one point. They had 4 fielders ringing the boundary, bowling short. When you bowled short to Shubman Gill on a surface where the ball wasn't going head high, you were actually playing to his strength, weren't you?
Yeah. If you do go across his stats, it tells you that his strongest suit in any part of the pitch is the short ball. He's very comfortable playing it. Growing up in Punjab, playing on these cement pitches with wet tennis balls and rubber balls, the one thing his dad has taught him is to play the short ball very nicely. And that comes through in white ball cricket as well. When you plan against him, you almost say, don't bother bowling. It's a bit like bowling to Rohit Sharma. If you bowl the short ball, you're almost assured of it going to a boundary. So that's the kind of pressure he inflicts of the short ball. It's actually the length ball and the fuller balls is where you have a better chance against him. And England did that, but when they went too full, again he put it away. When they just kept it around the length is when he was disciplined, he was leaving it. And let's say he just made sure that he didn't try anything there. But short or full, he was very, very good to latch on to.
And then Rishabh Pant arrives. Why are you laughing?
Because he is a man who is unique, very unique in his thought process.
He came here to England first time in 2018.
Correct.
His second ball, he hit a 6.
Correct.
Now, second ball, Ben Stokes ball, he charges Ben Stokes. And then after that, the field is set deep and he's not hitting a single ball. And then all of a sudden, towards the end, he made up his mind that I'm going to play that ball to find like how many? He must have missed 3, 4, 5. He must have missed. And yet, the key to his cricket, it's strange actually. You think of Rishabh Pant and you think of audacious shots, but the key is keeping out the good balls. And he's got a good defense.
He's got a very good defense. That's why he's so successful. He averages mid-40s and it's not by chance. He knows what he's doing. He's got a slightly low back flip, which gets him into a really nice position with soft hands while playing a defense. But if you throw a challenge at him, his ego says, I want to get the better.
Suppose I throw him a challenge. Rishabh, if you get 100 tomorrow, then you will have scored more hundreds than any other Indian wicketkeeper, and you would have got more hundreds than MS in half the test matches that MS Dhoni played. No Indian wicketkeepers got more than 600. 2?
No one.
One in Bangladesh.
Yes.
One. But you should have got one here.
Yes,
in
that's batting.
2008. See, if you make fun of other people's batting, I'll make fun of you. If you had to look back at the day, was it very good batting? Was it ordinary bowling on a pitch that was easier than both captains thought? What stood out for you?
Great application, beautiful batting by India. They did everything right.
Test match batting.
Proper test match. I can't say proper test. What Rishabh Pant did, how's the proper test match batting? Whenever he feels he's in the mood, he does something. That is not proper test match batting. What
But everybody else, okay.
That was proper test
And
match
Rahul.
batting for Rishabh Pant.
Yeah.
KL Rahul, definitely.
Rahul, Yashasvi and Shubman.
Yes. Apart from Rishabh Pant, who I don't think forms part of a conversation. He is cut from a different league. Let's leave that aside. But it was actually a lack of bowling options in terms of what with their skill set they could have done. That was what was very evident. It was a very young attack. Trident Cast not played much. Josh Tongue not played much. Their best bowler by a distance was Ben Stokes. And for me, that says a lot about this current bowling attack. I think they need to really look and see what they need to do. I heard Gus Atkinson could come in the third test. Jofra Archer, if he goes well for Sussex, could come in the second test.
Yes.
And these are all bowlers that they'll require because this attack, I'm worried to say that if the pitch is not helpful, then they're really struggling.
So if you had him in your Cricbuzz 11, say a Shubman Gill or a Yashasvi Jaiswal, I hope all of you did as well, because if you had them in your Cricbuzz 11, you would have scored a lot of points today. Gill even more so than Jaiswal because he's still in, and I don't know what you would do with Pant. I would always have Pant in my fantasy 11 as well. Right, hotspot. We answered hotspot very briefly, and I'm still going to put DK in hotspot. Okay, in one word, what allowed India to outbass ball England? Conditions or approach?
Conditions. That was very good to bat on. It was a pitch where you needed to bat first. They applied themselves, but the conditions definitely helped. Didn't swing or seam as much as it would normally on day one pitches in England.
That was the easiest hotspot that he's ever been in, but I promise you, we'll ask him much tougher stuff. But end of the day, that India completely dominated. But it's time to look ahead to day two. The sun is bright outside. By the way, it always spooks me when I come to England. I've been coming to England from 1990. Don't tell me when you were born and how much cricket you had played then, all that. That's okay.
1990, my parents would have been planning.
You're not that young. Come on. You're not. Yeah, I mean, you're young.
I just thought you'll fall for that. I thought it was a nice ring to it, that joke.
No, because I know you made your debut in 2004 and you could not have made your debut at 14. So I remember. But let's go fast forward. It's not always that you get to end the first day of a series with the home captain who knows these conditions very well, putting you in, and you finish 359 for 3. Can India look almost too far ahead? How far ahead should India look? Is 500 first goal? 550 goal? What would you be doing if you're sitting in that change room?
First thing that they should be doing is playing to lunch. If they lose only 1 wicket, then that's the session one. That's when you decide, okay, from here, where do we go?
Yeah.
You understand, all it takes is 2 wickets and then the test match looks very different. You're probably thinking, okay, let's just bat and then see what happens. So if you want to dominate this test, then you need to bat 2 sessions convincingly. Then you can decide whether it's 500 or 550. And again, those are very tall scores in England. It's not India that we're playing. It's in England. So 500, 550 are not achieved every day. So those are very good scores. But the first challenge would be, let's get to lunch with just 1 wicket down after this, which would mean India would go in with just 4 wickets lost. That will give them the best chance of dominating this test match.
The reason I went as far as 600 is one of the greatest test matches I've ever seen in my life was right here in 2002 when you were wearing shorts. In 2002, very different conditions, very, very difficult first day. Absolutely green, you could put the stumps anywhere, as people say. Rahul Dravid produced a masterclass, then Ganguly and Tendulkar went ahead, and India made 628 and won by an innings with Harbhajan and Kumble taking wickets. So, but I agree with you. There's a second new ball. The bowlers would be rested a little bit. They were bowling with very tired legs when they came into bowl at the end. Speeds had dropped, everything had dropped. I thought Stokes was actually their best bowler today. Cars looked good. I thought Stokes was probably their best bowler today. But when they come back, play out that new ball and then take it from there. Maybe Gill gets a big one. But I'm looking forward to Karun Nair. It's one of the great stories. He's waited 8 years to come back. Cricket's given him a second chance, and I just hope it does. And I'm a sucker for these romantic stories.
And why not? It is a beautiful story of someone making a comeback who's worked hard. shifted states, gone and played county cricket. He's done everything possible within this cricketing ecosystem to say, I'm ready, give me an opportunity. And I couldn't be happier for him. He deserves it.
Yeah, because word is he might go back to Karnataka.
Yes, yes.
And your little protege is also moving out of Vidarbha to Baroda, I'm told.
Yeah, Jitesh Sharma is moving to Baroda as well, most likely.
Do you feel very old when you see these wicket keepers with like Jitesh Sharma and all saying that DK Anna told me this? So do you feel old? Do you feel a bit like me?
When I'm with Jitesh, I feel, but when I'm with you, I feel very young, Harsha. I feel so much younger and I'm ready. I'm like a spring chicken, I feel. I'm like ready to do whatever.
359 for 3 at the end of day 1. It's a great start to a series. Only once has a team scored more than that.
What is the shirt that we need to look forward to tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
And one more question, Harsha. You said the flavor in the food reduced for Team India. That is for Team India. For you, did it reduce in lunch? There are so many desserts. There was carrot pie. There was chocolate brownie. All these options were there. Are you getting these options as well?
He works for the big budget stuff.
I'll tell you what happened. Diet here.
I'll tell you what happened to my lunch. I did the last commentary stint before lunch, or around it. Then I had to go and do the lunch show, and came back and did one commentary stint. So by the time I went there, they were starting to clear lunch. So I said, just wait. I got a little bit of rice, some veggies. I said, can I get some gravy? But there was no spoon. So I took a teaspoon and I was pouring gravy from the teaspoon into my sabji. That is what I had. And then just as they were clearing dessert, I picked one side.
That is the important.
I picked one little piece.
It's been a very hard day for two kinds of people. One are the English on the field and one is Harsha Bhogle off the field. Everybody else has had a good day. Sun was out.
Tomorrow I'm getting my own water bottle because at about 3 o'clock or so, they ran out of all the cups, so you couldn't get any more water. So I'm getting my water bottle as well. The things we talk about on Cricbuzz Chatter, I tell you. But he sits in the affluent box. Who knows what happens tomorrow? Maybe a biggie from Gill, maybe 100 from Rishabh, maybe a romantic little comeback innings from Karuna, maybe a burst from Bumrah, maybe wickets to the new ball. Who knows? We'll bring you all that on Cricbuzz Chatter, powered by Cricbuzz 11.